back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another First Division review show. Gavin Woods is here with me today. Gavin, what's up?
Hi, Keith. How are you?
I'm good. You all right, yeah?
Yeah, good, yeah. Still alive anyway after last night.
Well, that's good anyway. That's always a plus, isn't it? We're getting these review shows out because there's games on Monday as well. We might give our predictions, actually, quick predictions for the games on Monday. A bit of a bumper weekend in both divisions, to be fair. And we'll start off with Wexford and Cobh Ramblers, actually, at Ferrycarrig Park. And it finished Wexford 4, Cobh Ramblers 2. Jack Doherty gave Wexford the lead after 2 minutes. An equaliser from 19-year-old midfielder Luke Desmond after 4. Connor Barry then gave Wexford the lead to make it 2-1 on 27. Aidan Friel on 46, a minute into the second half. Connor Joynan gave Cobh hope after 55. And it was 4-2 after 60 minutes when Dobbs made it. Obviously scored after good play from Jack Doherty. This result was kind of coming a little bit, Gavin, for Wexford, because they played very good sides the last couple of weeks and came away with a point from Cork City and Galway. So I don't think this was too much of a surprise for us, was it?
No, and to be fair, like I was telling Daz the other night, I think, this result, the result against Cobh is something that they've, as you said, they've deserved. How they didn't get 3 points up in Galway is beyond me, and they give City a great run for their money. So, and like looking at the goals as well, it looks like that, as I've been raving about Jack Doherty for the last couple of weeks, and he scored the first and set up 2 out of the other 3. So he looks a bit of a player. I'd love to see him down at City. Actually, I think he'd be lovely in a 10 for City. But you like
hint.
Hint, Colin. Did you get that? I'd like to see him down there. But like looking at was it the third goal? I think he's the one from the corner ball where the ball went to the back post, and bad defending out of Cobh was very similar to the Waterford game in Coleman's Park when Cobh played him. Just giving away bad goals, bad mistakes to be making, and you're going to get punished no matter what. At this level.
Yeah, for Cobh, like it's 6 defeats in a row, and even a couple of weeks ago we were saying that Keith, I think, said that they're losing games, but they're not conceding many goals. But now in the last few games, they're conceding goals. That's now 10 goals they've conceded in the last 3 games. So at least in this game, I suppose, look, it's 6 defeats in a row. It's 10 goals in the last 3 games they've conceded, but they haven't looked like scoring really. At least if they want to take a crumb of comfort, they scored twice, and they did have a few opportunities to score after Wexford went 4-2 up. They hit the bar late on as well. So that will give them something, like, because you're always, let's be honest, even if a team is struggling, you're always looking for some positivity. Sometimes there isn't any positivity there, but I suppose that is a bit of positivity for them.
Absolutely, sure. I mean, they got 2 goals away, and as you said, hit the bar late on. And again, it could have been 3. It wasn't, but it could have been 3. But they will look at it in that sense that they nearly scored 3 goals away from home and away to a good Wexford team that are going to be very hard to beat at home. So, like, as you said, unfortunately they lost. And I said, when you're on a kind of a run like that, when you're losing games, unfortunately, it kind of becomes a habit when you're in that sort of losing streak. So, look, if there's anything comfort to take from them, hopefully they'll gain from that and take the positive out of getting 2 goals away.
Yeah, from Wexford's point of view, I feel like for the first time in a couple of years, they can actually challenge for a playoff place. I don't know if they can go up because it's so difficult, but they're certainly going the right direction. As you said, Jack Doherty's become a key. He was always a key player for Wexford. I think what's happened now, though, is that there's a couple of players around them that are better players playing with him. So he's really starting to shine more so now because of that. Like when you've got players like Dobbs who can move, his movement is very good. Corcoran was on the bench for this game. But he actually fired another one across the Dobbs. It might have been Dobbs as well, where that could have been a chance. Well, it was a chance, but he could have set up another goal in the game as well. I think that's what often happens. So he's starting to flourish because of that as well, I think.
Yeah, and I suppose Connor Davis as well. And as I said, when I noticed it when I was down the City game down there a couple of weeks ago with Connor Davis and Dobbs, they work hard around them. There's a good work ethic between them, so that gives him that space in that 10 position to kind of, I'd say he's kind of a, want of a better word, like a free role as such, I suppose. Like so, that gives him the opportunity to show his talent, and he's lovely and very silky player, lovely on the ball.
Yeah, we'll head now to Turner's Cross, finish Cork 0, Bray Wanderers 0, and stark contrast to the 6-0 at the Carlisle. And Bray will be absolutely delighted because we did say, I don't know if you were on the show or not, I can't remember, but we were saying how Bray have definitely tightened up at the back. And, Hugh Douglas himself has been missing for a couple of games. I think he came out as a sub in this game. He had, I think he was missing through concussion for a couple of weeks. He got a bad head knock. And look, they'd be delighted to go down to Cork. And you know yourself, if you, at any level, if you're hockeyed by a team, the next time you play them, you're almost like itching to get, or should be itching to get at them and put some wrongs right, because that's nearly the only way you put the wrongs right. Now, they're still struggling to score goals. They've only scored 5 goals in 9 games, but most teams go down to Turner's Cross. If they go down and get a 0-0 draw, they're taking it and they're happy going back up the road.
Yeah, and to be fair to Bray, any of the pressure, as I said, that they dealt with, was only kind of the last 5 or 10 minutes really in the game where City kind of came to life, which was too late. Bray dealt with City very well and very comfortably as well. City didn't play badly, but they never, like, they were in third gear but never went up a gear. They stayed in the same gear all the time, and the game seemed to be passing them by quite easily. And as I've said on the show before, like, when, like, at any level, at any league, when you're top of the league and you're bringing a decent home crowd there, you're expecting things to happen, and then you see what was happening was that it wasn't happening. And then City fans were, come on, City, get yourselves going, come on, wake up a bit, kind of up your game. And it just wasn't going to happen last night. And as I said, there was kind of, there was a chance there, 5-10 minutes to go, where Barry Coffey had an open goal, but he ran too far ahead of the ball and kind of caught it sideways and went over the bar. And I suppose, look, it kind of summed up the game really. And then there was 2 penalty incidents towards the end. The first one, Rory Keating, I've said it, I don't know what he went down on the ground for such a big young fella. Like, he should have just held his ground and turned and played the ball across the box. But he went down trying to get a penalty, and it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. The Gilchrist one after that, I did think from my side was a penalty, but there was a free out given previous to the actual tackle in the box. So I suppose, look, that's the way it was. I think I'm hoping that after last night, that Colin Healy and the staff will look back at last night and say, well, you're not going to get away with this up in Waterford. Waterford are going to score goals, or City are going to have to punish Waterford if they want to get anything up there. So they will be disappointed. And as I said to Keith Ryan earlier, I'm not forgetting his first name, but surname Blackburn, the right back for Bray, I thought he was outstanding. As Dean, I said, in the kind of, sorry,
Dean, Blackburn,
Yeah, he I thought he was very good for Bray last night. Did very well from last night. I said when it just needed a calm head on shoulders, he was excellent at right back from last night. He gave Cian Bargery nothing last night, and just a couple of moments in the game where I looked at him and you think he was going to be under pressure, but very cool on the ball, and he impressed me for Bray last night. So credit due to Bray, they deserved what they got out of the game last night.
Do you think the week off did harm to Cork, or do you think that's nothing really to do with it?
100%. Like, I actually said it to people at halftime of the game. I said the worst thing that happened to the City was the week off, the momentum. That it's after breaking the momentum. So I think, as we said, this is where you see the kind of the character of the players now will come through. Hopefully, in the next couple of games, this will show if they're good enough to either be in the top 3 or 4, or whatever way the league will end up. This is going to show the true character of the team. That they have to bounce back from last night. And I think the worst thing was the break for them, unfortunately. But look, they have to get on with it. There's nobody going to feel sorry for them.
I think the hardest thing with the break, and it may have happened to another team, it may happen Longford as well, is that you get a break and then all of a sudden you have to play Friday and Monday. That's when it becomes extra difficult as well. Like, that's the way I'd see it as well. But yeah, we'll get on to that game later. But we'll move on to Athlone 10 and Treaty. Finished Athlone 10-1, Treaty United 1. Udigan after 82 minutes, and Christopher basically in the last minute foiling Athlone's first win of the season. But to be fair, Treaty, it would have been robbery if Treaty lost the game. I mean, Enda Curran in the first half was very sharp, forced a couple of good saves from Slingerman. He had a header that went over, he had another chance as well. They created the most of the chances in the game. But the funny thing is, Athlone, this is when it was 0-0. Athlone through Aluwu and Uzbazunu had actually the best 2 chances of the match. that they probably both should have scored. But Treaty had done most of the running for the game, and when Athlone did score on 82, it was a bit of a surprise, but Udigan came out to sub and finished it well. But Treaty got a well-deserved point thanks to Christopher on 89. Just keeps them in that little pack in and around. Actually, funnily enough, they're only 2 points behind Waterford with the game in hand. Interestingly enough, if they could pass them out on Monday, who knows? But ultimately, I think they'd be happy enough with the point because it was the last-minute job, more or less. But they'll be disappointed that maybe they didn't take the lead, because I think if they take the lead in this game, they go on and win the game with some of the chances they created. But fair play to Athlone, even though they, I won't say threw away the lead, but they'll be disappointed they didn't hang on really. And as I say, they're still bottom, 2 points, no wins.
Yeah, I suppose, like as you said, they are key to if Treaty had scored early, they'd have probably got a couple of goals. But in fairness, that Athlone, who are kind of a bit all over the place at the moment, I'd say they're kind of looking at it from that point of view. Score the 82nd minute, surely we'll hold on for 10 more minutes. But unfortunately, when the ball came across the box for Stephen Christopher's equaliser, Stephen Kenny,
poor header, wasn't it?
Yeah, like he headed it straight. Like, I mean, if we're going to head it anywhere, even head it straight back up where the ball came from. Even
it wasn't even straight out; it was straight down with feet as well. Yeah, at least if it went kind of head height, the defenders might have had time to adjust and do something. But like it was almost like you were a striker heading it down to obviously an attacker coming in to a degree. It worked out that way.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, unfortunately for him, like it was one of those balls that came out the edge of the box where if you hit it any bit clean, it was going to go in. So, and then like I suppose in that sense, then like Athlone were probably kicking themselves because they said they probably when you kind of need a break in the game, they're saying, oh, we could go do with 3 points here, and they don't get it. And Treaty come away with a draw, and as you said, like only 2 points behind Waterford. Again, it's kind of like the Longford situation. Nobody's saying anything about Treaty, and they're just creeping up nicely behind.
Absolutely, yeah. And I suppose the big game of the weekend, to be fair, was easily Waterford and Galway at the RSC, and it finished Waterford FC Galway United. Waterford FC 0, Galway United 1. This is the only one I didn't see any patches from, but I've talked to people about this, and I've seen Sean Lean's reaction on the obviously the fan reaction show that I put out in that, and he wasn't a happy man at all because some of the points were very interesting actually, and do make sense, because he was saying that they were kind of playing hoofball, Waterford, but he says so were Galway, but they were playing structured hoofball, if you get me. That's what he was trying to suggest, and Waterford weren't. And I get what he means, because with John Caulfield and his team, everyone knows their job. I mean, it almost doesn't matter how a team plays once everyone knows how they're supposed to be playing in many ways, but according to him and many Waterford fans, that's not the case with Waterford at the moment. I'm just wondering if the style that Ian Morris likes to play, and I don't think he's a bad manager. I know some people are saying, like, he doesn't know what he's doing, tackling out of his depth. That's not what it is. I think the problem is Waterford don't really have those type of players to suit at this minute in time exactly what he is trying to do. And I think Sean had mentioned their light in midfield. They've got a lot of small ball players really in the middle of the park. The likes of Griffin and players like that. And I think that's an issue with Waterford as well. And this was a big result for Galway, because Galway now are level with Cork all of a sudden. The goal difference is a big difference, but let's be fair, that doesn't make a difference really at this point of the season. It doesn't make a difference. Galway've gone to Waterford and got 3 points. They've gone to Cork and got 3 points. And they're kind of, even though they're top of the league as such, there's still an element of under the radar a little bit with Galway compared to, say, the praise that Cork City have got. But for Waterford, losing that match, I think, after getting back in the saddle with a win last week, was a huge blow to them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed to lose that game. And as you said about that hoofball situation, like when City were under pressure time when John Cobh was in charge, they done it, but it was with a purpose, as you said. But with Waterford, as I said, I don't know, that Egyptian guy in the centre midfield and the chap O'Keefe that I was on about.
They're a bit small. They're good players, but they're small.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like they're only 5'6", and they're like sending a ball up top 40-50 yards into the sky, and they're looking at us. So this isn't how I play ball at all. And what do I do when the ball comes up? Because I'm not used to like when the second ball drops, what are you going to do with it? So for Galway, we're probably saying, you can send this up to us all day, and we'll take this in our stride all day. And John Cobh is probably smiling. Like
it sounded like to me, to be honest, that Galway, you know what I mean, were better at doing what Waterford were trying to do, basically.
Yeah, like Yeah, Waterford tried to do Galway on it, but Galway are just too good for that in a sense, like, or in a John Caulfield, in a John Caulfield sense, in a John Caulfield sense, this is great. Thanks very much. You can happily pump the ball up to me, but I'll take 3 points and go back up home to Galway. So, it's, and I said it after the Wexford game today when Galway only drew 1-1 at home to Wexford. Like, as I said, I'd say Caulfield was seething after that game with the dressing room. So he just said, look, shut up shop, and we said it in the review, take a 1-0, take a 2-1 down to Waterford every day of the week. That's John Caulfield, happy out, 3 points, keep the pressure on City.
And what it is as well, you feel that when Galway do get a setback of a result, that you're not worried about them. They're not going to go on a mini run of bad results. They kind of come back, they bounce back nearly straight away, and that's a good sign for them going down to Waterford, where they'll be under a little bit of pressure themselves and bouncing back with a great 3 points there. But on the flip side, not a good sign for Waterford, and maybe it just shows that maybe the mentality of Galway is better as well.
Yeah, I suppose with Waterford, I suppose, like that, as you said, after getting the result against Cobh, they were hoping to get the momentum going again and try and pick up the points at home. And again, like, obviously, whatever Ian Morris done, as you said, he's not a bad manager, but his tactics for this game just didn't work for him. So obviously he'll have to go back to the drawing board for Monday. Hopefully he doesn't go back to the drawing board though, especially when we're away.
Yeah. Speaking about Monday, we'll move on to Monday's games, give quick predictions for these games. And as you say, some interesting games there, but the big game is obviously Waterford and Cork. And it is a big game because Waterford, look, they've lost a couple of games recently as well. Cobh was their only win in that run, and they can't afford to lose at home to Cork, can they?
Yeah, they can. They'll be hoping not to lose to City, but obviously, from my point of view, I'm hoping that we pick up the 3 points down there, and I think it's vital for City because Galway will keep. As you said there about Waterford can go through a run where they'll win a couple of games, but then you're kind of nearly guaranteed that they lose a couple of games. But once John Caulfield gets into this run with Galway, he'll have it in their mentality, to keep this unbeaten run going, and that would be my fear. Then is that, after all hyping up Cork City, that because Galway could end up at the end of the second series of games where we'll be talking about Galway. And look, all credit to John Caulfield. Look, I think he's an amazing person and an amazing manager. But I'm hoping that City, like if City came away with a win on Monday, no matter what, I don't care. It's vital for City to win on Monday.
I think if they do, I think you can nearly write Waterford off, to be honest, as well, because I just think it'd be too much to catch up in two teams, and it would just show a bit of frailty. I also think, rightly or wrongly, I think if they lose this Ian Morris and the way Waterford fire managers, I think he could be under serious pressure, to be honest, as well. Something I normally wouldn't really say, but I think he could be under serious pressure. But I think they might nick a draw, Waterford. I don't know if that'll be good enough to keep the natives happy, so to speak. Cork mightn't be too disappointed with a draw if they can get a win, say, in the next couple of games after. It all depends, yourself, but I'll go for a draw personally.
Yeah, I mean, my head is saying a win, a 2-1 victory to City, but I think my heart will, I'll take a 1-1 draw. I think a 1-1 draw down there wouldn't be, or a scoreless or a score draw wouldn't be a bad result for City down there. I really don't think it would be, because Waterford will be dying to beat City and reverse the result from a couple of weeks ago and turn us across. So, as I said, look, touch wood, we get 3 points.
Yeah, so we're both going 1-1, I think, as well. Bray Wanderers take on Longford Town, and this is a game where, Longford didn't actually play on Friday, so they were able to prepare, let's say, for this game while Bray had a game. Longford have only conceded 4 goals. Bray have only scored 5 goals. This isn't going to be a 3-3, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to end up like that. But as I said, and Keith will be delighted with it. Bray will take a lot of positives out of the game in the Cross last night, and I think it's going to be. It's just funny, but I think it's going to be 0-0 again. I genuinely think it'll be 0-0 at home.
I think Longford will just pinch it myself, but Bray, they just need to create chances to score goals. But I think Longford 1-0 for me. On to the next fixture, and we've got basically the bottom two. Cobh Ramblers at home to Athlone, and Cobh have won one match. Athlone have won no matches. They're on 4 points, Cobh. Athlone are on 2. Neither team have scored many goals this season, but I think Athlone have a bit more firepower, if I'm honest with you. I think Alua has played very well this season for them. It's just when you're in a team, you're bottom of the league and you haven't got any wins, you normally don't get the credit you deserve for your performances. I think he's been really good. Glenn McCauley on his day is good. Ubazuna is good as well. They did have a humdinger earlier on the season, didn't they, as well, when I think Athlone, obviously Cobh got the better of them by 3 goals to 2 as well. So this is the reverse fixture in Cobh. I have a niggly feeling that Athlone will go and get the first win of the season here, maybe 2-1.
I don't think so. Actually, I'm going to go with Cobh here.
You have to, as the Cork fan, you nearly have to.
Yeah. But like even after the last the other night, as you said, look, they'll take the positives out of the game from Wexford game last night. They're at home, and I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory to Cobh. I think they'll nick it. I think they'll nick it at home. And I'm hoping for O'Brien Whitmarsh that he gets off the score sheet. I'd love to see him score and get a couple of goals for himself because he's a fine player. And I'm hoping for a Cobh. I'd like to see Cobh win. I'll probably go down to it, to be honest with you. So I'll go down and support the locals.
That'll be interesting. Fair play to. That's 2 games for you. Is it in a day? Nearly?
Yeah.
Will you go to Waterford, by the way? Will you go to Waterford?
I'm I don't know yet. I'll see about it yet. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I don't know yet, is my honest opinion. I'll see. It depends. It depends. It could be like a kind of a lastminute.com sort of a thing. Like, so I don't know yet. But if I'm not, I'll definitely go down and watch the Cobh game anyway, because look, it's handy because it's only down the road for me, so it'll suit me fine. And as I said, look, no matter what, I'll still go down and support them anyway, and just to go down to see it. It's great just to see League of Ireland match anyway. Do you know, I just love going to the grounds anyway.
Absolutely, no, you're like myself. Treaty take on Wexford as well, and this is an interesting game because if Treaty win to potentially go ahead of Waterford in the league, which would be very interesting. And Wexford are in good form as well. But the last time they met, the reverse fixture, I believe, wasn't this 5-1 for Treaty in Wexford, if I'm right, earlier on the season as well.
Really?
Treaty went there and won 5-1. So these fixtures, exactly, they did, so. Wexford will want to reverse that. And again, that's one of them, like, I won't say fluke results, but a bit like Cork winning 6-0 at Bray. It is 100%. One of those that happen on the day. There's not much between them, ironically. But it's just one of those things that can happen. As I said, Treaty did create a lot of chances against Athlone, couldn't get the lead goal in that game. And the way Wexford playing at the moment, they're capable of scoring a few themselves. So it could be a good game, actually, down in Limerick, couldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think Wexford, looking at them, they're creating a lot of chances. As I said, Barry Bannon's twin brother, Jack Doherty, is absolutely flying at the moment. I think because and it's like anything, it's like any player when you're in a bit of form like that and you're creating chances, you're scoring goals. I just think that mentality sticks with you. And I think Treaty, anything is possible to a Treaty, but I just think Wexford are a better side at the moment with current form. So personally, myself, I'm going to go with a 3-2 to Wexford.
Oh, that'd be interesting, especially in Limerick, because ironically, of course, well, not ironically, but they haven't lost Treaty since they were beaten well against Cork City, like 4 goals to 0. I'm just checking up there just to make sure as well. Yeah, Treaty did win 5-1 in Wexford as well. Jeez. Something came into my head. It wouldn't be a thing that would just come into your head, would it? But they did. Second game of the season, actually, they won 5-1. But look, they've come a long way since then, Wexford. I think they'd be much tougher to beat there as well. But I mean, I think Treaty will win it, to be honest with you. I think they'll nick it. I don't think it'll be anywhere close to 5-1, but I won't be shocked if Wexford won it either. So I'm going to go for Treaty 2-1. So it's interesting. We have a couple of different results this week. So we'll both be wrong somehow, that kind of way. But so guys, look, we'll leave it there. Let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a prediction for the games on Monday. Let us know what you think of the games on Friday. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit your bell notification button so you don't miss a video. And enjoy your Easter weekend and all the games on Monday. Thanks again, Gavin. Brilliant.
Thanks, Keith.